What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast, and here you are in the Hammerdown Motorsports shop in its current state, which is a little messy, a little bit under construction, and full of excuses and promises that I'll clean it, which I might and I will, and I hope so, because that would be the end goal. But somehow, I don't know, some way, things will happen. Things are going to happen. But anyways, with that being said, we do have a new product to share with you guys today, and I'm going to show you kind of some of the other things that I have which are similar to this and how they didn't really work out in the past, and I think this new one's going to be a whole lot of a better situation for you guys if you're looking for something that will suit your needs in this regard. All right, so first off, this is what we have. This, you might not even know what it is, because this is how I found this in the back of my truck. This is your standard heel bar, and these are very handy if you want to get leverage, all that kind of stuff. You can stick this underneath and pop out bearing races and get stuff where you need it to be, and you can line up holes at the other end. Works out really nicely. This is just your standard unit, nothing too special about that. Does its job well. This one, this is actually, if you guys can see, it still kind of says it there, this is a gear wrench one. I bought this one probably, I don't even know. It didn't get a lot of use, let's just say that. But this is how I found it in my service truck. This piece was laying in the drawer, and this piece was just kind of on its own, and honestly, I would probably have to empty the drawer to find the rest of the pieces, but I think whatever held this together kind of worked its way apart, and yeah, it fell apart. So could I fix this? Probably, but you know what? We're gonna do one better today and show you guys a new product from Olsa Tools. So here it is. As you can see, we have from Olsa Tools the Extendable Indexing Pry Bar, which is something that I have honestly never had, and if you guys know me, I love to work on cars. I've been a professional mechanic for years, and I've never had one like this. So this is something new for me, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. Let's use our old one, kind of open this up. There's another thing, another fun fact about Olsa Tools, which I just learned recently. If you guys know, I was born in Canada, and I knew that Olsa Tools was based in Canada. They are the company that sells its products, and well, you can see on the box, it is made in Taiwan, which definitely reflects the price, and I'm not opposed to buying stuff that is made in other countries, especially when the company that's selling it is actually very close to where I grew up. This is actually from Nisku, Alberta, Canada, and if anybody knows Edmonton area, all that kind of stuff, I grew up in the Edmonton area, and this is actually something that I am very happy to be promoting because it supports a business that is selling products in the area where I grew up. So we're gonna get this thing opened up, show you guys what we got. So we open it up, it has a nice little tray for it. So if you do wanna put this in your toolbox, you can just kind of discard the box, and then you can set this in here. But as you can see, the tray is nice and slim. It doesn't take up a whole lot of extra room, or you can just kind of put this in with your other pry bars. But what we're gonna do here now is kind of demonstrate how this all works. Now what we have here is this button, and you can push this in, and then you can extend your pry bar, which is really nice because you can have the capacity of a shorter one. You see how we have our smaller heel bar, which is pretty much the same length with this in its current position. We can turn this to multiple angles. You can actually have, this is as far in as it goes, is right there, it locks in. Nicely, you can feel the handle lock in as well. Everything is very nicely heavy duty built from what I can feel. And then what we can do is we can go out another section, we can go out another one, we can go all the way down to that one, and you can see how much longer this pry bar is than just our standard one. Normally, what you would do with one of these is you only get the one angle, and then you probably have about 4 different ones. So you'd have 4 different pry bars or heel bars in your toolbox. And you can also see how much longer our end is here. Push this button in. Than our standard heel bar. I mean, obviously, this is similar to this tool. It's not exactly like this tool, but it does have a similar function. But this one has so much more versatility just because of the adjustments that you can have. And you can see on the handle, I mean, this is a very high quality feeling tool in your hand. It does not have the other end for the lineup bar, but that's really not a big deal when you're trying to get something that maybe you can't get a pry bar in because you got something in the way. This way you can get a totally different angle and pry with it, and you're good to go for many different jobs all in one tool. So I've been walking around trying to find a good example to show you guys how the strength of this thing is, if it has any deflection or anything like that. When we start prying with it, we do have the bumper on the old mud mouse, which as you can see is in absolute mint condition. And we do have our tool here in the fully extended position. This is kind of out a little bit. You can see it's got a couple marks on it already from me playing with it, but we're just gonna stick this in here and apply some pressure. You can see, putting a lot of strain on this thing, and until it slipped off at the very end because it ran out of real estate, because we're actually pushing this metal in. You can see how that grabbed on there, no problem at all. And the tool held up really well, no problem with any kind of deflection. We'll stick it in here, give you guys another example. And I'm pulling on this thing pretty much as hard as I can. You can see how that metal's just kind of bent up there, no issues at all. We'll go over here. There you go. You can see it's really gripping well, and I've actually had like Mac Tools products where the tip would break off with some hardened stuff if you get underneath a bearing or whatever, and so far this thing's holding up awesome. So now over here we do have the bench vise just kind of opened a little bit. We're just going to give this thing a little bit more of a stress test on something a little bit harder, just kind of see how everything works out. If I lift up on that, I'm moving I have the entire leg of the bench up here. You can hear that. This is a pretty strong table. It's from one of the old gas stations back in the day, and you can flex the entire top of it with this tool in full extension. No issues whatsoever. You put it down into the shortest. Oh yeah. I got no issues with this thing. This thing seems to hold up really, really well, and I'm sure it's going to work out really good when I actually have to use it on some bearings or something that's in a tight spot. We do have a lot of different ways that we can use this, and I think it's a really nice versatile item to have in your toolbox. Another thing I noticed about this pry bar is the construction is very different from the gear wrench one that fell apart. The gear wrench one, I believe it had a screw that held this all together, and that was kind of its downfall, that fell apart. This one, you can see everything is just like that. You got a spring-loaded button you push over here, and then the gears kind of come out over there, and there's no screw to fall out, which is really nice because I believe I can throw this into my toolbox in my service truck, have it bouncing down the road, and we shouldn't have any issues with this one falling apart. So there it is, everybody, our first tool review on the channel. Big thanks to Olsa Tools for sending us out that pry bar, and I think we're gonna have a lot of use for that in the future. We also have another item from them, and we'll probably have some more things in the future, so definitely stay tuned for those videos. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out Olsa Tools. I will have all their information in the description, and as always, keep that hammer down.